All right, Trav, let's get into this Sunday for the Patriots.
Yep.
So speaking of Logan, they'll be flying out of Logan to go down to South. Does that work? They have their own plane. No, they definitely don't fly.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Oh, they fly out of Providence anyway. Never been in the airport. So speaking of airports, the Patriots don't have to deal with one, but they'll be flying down to South Beach for a matchup with the Dolphins this Sunday. Dolphins 5-5, man, just sticking 500 in an AFC where the 7 seed will likely have a losing record or be 500, man. They're just staying afloat. They overcame losing Tua for a few weeks. They're 2-2 since he returned from the bye. While we know the Patriots 3-8 on the year, coming off this loss with the Rams. This is an interesting matchup just because this Dolphins defense isn't good. So I think we'll see a lot of scoring, but this is an offense, since a return of Tua, has put up 27 or more points 3 out of their 4 games. They've won 2 in a row. And to me, I point that out, Trav, because if you can score, it's going to be tough for the Patriots to keep up because their defense cannot get stops.
Yeah. I mean, look, you and I watched that game last week together with the Patriots and the Rams, and we watched Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua do whatever the hell they wanted to do in that game. I just don't know what you're supposed to do against these weapons with the Dolphins. Now, I will say this, and maybe it's me, George, giving, like I did Logan, giving too much of a benefit of a doubt here, but I'm going to give some benefit of the doubt to a defensive-minded head coach that there's going to be adjustments made. Lord knows you didn't make them during the game. But now in this game, with the Rams game being over and transitioning to the Dolphins, there should be some adjustments made in terms of taking away some of these splash plays. Because of that, I'm going to go a closer game than I'm willing to bet that you're thinking. I'll go Dolphins here because I do think they will make the big plays, whether it's Tyreek Hill or whoever's. They will make the big splashy plays that are the difference in the game, at least 1 or 2 of them. I'll go Dolphins 27, and I'll go Patriots 20. I keep telling you every week. I don't know the number because I don't bet on the team, but I feel like the Patriots cover spreads, bro. Like they are in every game. They hang in there. They're tough. They're tougher than a $2 steak for a lot of these really good teams who we think should sort of beat the hell out of them. They don't. I thought the Rams, that was a close game. Could have went either way. Obviously, in the end, we know what happens. I don't necessarily feel like they're going to be in this game enough where we feel like in the end they were this close. That's why I'm going a touchdown here. I think the Dolphins are a touchdown better than the Patriots, but I think that's it. I think the margin is that thin, George. I think the Pats hang in this game. I'll go 27-20 here. Drake Maye plays well again, would be my guess.
If you can find 7.5 out there, then take the points. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like Vegas sees what you're seeing, though. Like this Dolphins team is favored by a touchdown. I go back to, and to your point, too, you talk about them covering. They covered against the Jets, Titans, and Bears. Did not cover against the Rams. Did not cover against Jacksonville or Houston. All of those games are Drake Maye starts, whether you finish the game or not. Of course, them also beating the Bears and beating the Jets. So it's more than covering in that facet. But this is an offense that, guess what offense we just saw carve up the Patriots? Have their way, average over 8 yards of play, almost 9 yards of play.
That's right.
Only face 8 third downs. And yeah, sure, you guys were plus 15 minutes in time of possession. But when they had their long scoring drives, they saw altogether an over 80% success rate on their plays. That Rams offense, different personnel, is this Dolphins offense. It is the same thing. Speed, get the ball out quick. The receiver matchups will be way different. Instead of bigger receivers like a Cooper Kupp and a Puka Nacua, it's of course the speedsters and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So the secondary can match up a little better where you have undersized receivers, Christian Gonzalez. Hopefully we see him follow Tyreek Hill. Then you figure out a way to take Jalen Waddle out of the passing game and out of the game plan altogether. But this is also a Dolphins offense that we've seen 27 on the Cardinals, 27 on the Bills. Dropped 34 just coming off this win over the Raiders. I'm not going to act like that Raiders defense is anything great, but we're everything that the Dolphins do, right? And their defensive line is getting healthy. This is still a really bad offensive line for the Patriots, a very bad D-line when it comes to stopping the run. Because, yeah, sure, Kyron Williams didn't go off and Blake Corum was kept in check. They were averaging over 5.5 yards a carry. So Devin Achane will get his space. We'll see what Jalen Wright, the usage he is. And the last time these two teams met, oh, man. This is going to be an exciting game because it's not Snoop Huntley against Jacoby Brissett anymore. Let's take that moment. It's Drake Maye against Tua Tagovailoa. But if Mike McDaniels is smart, he's going to look back and look at Devin Achan and Jalen Wright and go, you two went off against this defensive front. They're still bad. They're still not doing anything much. And I think with the Dolphins being able to eat up the clock, just have a more consistent offense where, look, again, keep in mind, like the Patriots are good against bad teams with bad offenses.
Yes.
Let's not brush aside who are the two teams they beat and who are the two teams the teams they've kept it close.
That's right.
It was the Jets, the Titans, and the Bears, who we saw 3 weeks before the Rams. Those are really bad offenses, really bad quarterback play until the Bears kind of got it right, but still terrible. This Miami offense is rolling, man. And it's more than the personnel. It's a system. It's Tua being sharp. He's being confident, who was good when he stepped back in. And he's averaging, almost 78% completion percentage. He's thrown for 960 yards, 7 touchdowns, just 1 turnover since he's returned the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Having that type of productivity, getting back into the system and doing it, with also the Patriots still lack an actual pass rush. Like they were getting nothing there. Tua's a quick decision maker. When he gets the ball out fast, gets it to his playmakers, and you're a poor tackling team on the back end. I understand the 27-20, but I lean more towards what I've seen from the Dolphins, where to me this is a 35-24 outcome. And I joke about it, but it's real, man. It's real. Where the Patriots, yes, are 3-8. They're catching momentum. Drake Maye's been good. But Trav, how often has this team been unprofessional? And now you're going to send them to South Beach. The weather is warm. The distractions are easy. And I'm being serious here. No KOD jokes or Tootsies or wherever they want to go live. But like seriously, like it's just you're in that climate, and also like a team that's not used to playing in that type of climate. It's sitting 75, it's humid, it's sunny. There are the effects and what's tough to play in South Beach with this Dolphins team rolling. I just think the separation is the talent on offense, Dolphins being just good enough on defense. Not great, just good enough with good players in key spots. I think it's going to be a Miami win, and it's going to be one where we're going to once again go, yeah, maybe the score is close, right? What if we get 28-20? It's like, all right, it's a 1-score game. What if we get 31-21, right? It's like a 2-possession game right there. Cool. But the score won't reflect of where these two teams are at. And this is a Dolphins team. You called it, man. You called it. You called their upset when they matched up with the Rams for the Dolphins. You called the Dolphins being good and being desperate. And we've seen that. You can't fake desperation. And this Dolphins team playing that way, man, that's why I lean towards them. Yeah,
listen, I think they're going to my next bold move with the Dolphins, I told you when Tua came back, they will climb out of the hole that they were in when he was out, and they will be a wild card team. The Bills are going to win the division. We all know it. They may very well be the 1 seed in the AFC. We'll see how things play out. But the Dolphins will find a way to get into the playoffs. And I'll be honest, if they don't have to go somewhere cold, they may rattle off a win. I mean, if you're telling me Miami is going to Houston, for example, I'll take Miami in the game. Okay, so now if you're going to Pittsburgh or you're going to Kansas City again or wherever and it's cold, you're going to get smoked. We already know what this team does in the cold. A couple things you said I want to unpack quickly. Drake Maye is the reason why I don't have the same worries as you with the team not being focused or being unprofessional in Miami. It's not the coaching staff. I'm not giving them any credence. In fact, I would agree with you if it wasn't for Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye has done enough now in terms of showing I can play, in terms of showing, yes, I'm young, but I am a leader, in terms of showing I'm the real deal. I'm a franchise quarterback. I'm a QB1 in this G-damn league. Get behind me, and I got us. I think those guys believe in Drake Maye enough where he can keep them in line. He can keep them focused. Here's another thing you said. I agree with you that the Dolphins should try to establish the running game here. I disagree with you slightly with your score, because if they're going to do that, and they're going to go the physicality route, and they're going to go, these guys can't stop the run, let's run it down their face, then that should lend itself to a much closer game. That should lend itself to, okay, they had a long drive, we need to go out and have a sustained drive. And I think Drake Maye can lead that as well. You also said you're interested to see Christian Gonzalez and how he's used this week. Because last week we were screaming, why isn't he on Cooper Kupp? Why don't you put him on Puka Nacua? You said he made travel with Tyreek Hill this week. You want to see that. Can I tell you something? I love Christian Gonzalez. Love him. I know you do too. Even if the adjustment is let's have him travel with Tyreek Hill, please, for the love of all things holy, give that young brother some help with Tyreek Hill. I want him traveling with Cheetah. I'm with you, George, but I need safety help over the top. I need another corner every now and again to just peek over. Does my guy need help? Okay. I love Christian Gonzalez, but I am not willing to sit here and act like this guy is prime time in his prime. He's not just going to walk in and shut down Tyreek Hill one-on-one. I want him traveling. I'm with you there, but give him some help, please. If Jalen Waddle beats me because Christian Gonzalez and help is over there on Tyreek Hill, fine, I'll live with that. But if you put Christian Gonzalez one-on-one with Tyreek Hill and Gonzalez turns into barbecue chicken and Tyreek Hill goes off, oh my God, now we're having conversations around here like, are we wrong about Christian Gonzalez? Let's set the young man up for success, please.
Set the team up for success. Christian Gonzalez is really good. He's the type of corner you put over on Tyreek Hill. What they used to do is the Belichick days with their elite number one corner, like a Stephon Gilmore, he would take the number two and he would bracket the actual number one receiver. But if Christian Gonzalez is up to the billing, he's going to take Tyreek Hill, and then you have to bracket the number two, which is Jalen Waddle, because that's the world they live in with a bad secondary, a banged up secondary, an older secondary. That's how they have to live. So it's I don't have a lot of confidence though, because hopefully there is a paying attention of adjustments week to week and watching how Tyreek Hill is used and just making sure that there's at least double teams his way. That I can't disagree with. But when you have a two-headed monster like they do, guys that drive the offense like they do, Gonzalez on Tyreek Hill has to be it. And then you bracket double team Jalen Waddle. That way you could at least try to take both out of the game. Because either way, if you get beat by one or the other, fine. I don't want to see them get beaten by both like they were with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, who accounted for 70% of the targets that Matthew Stafford threw this last Sunday against New England. And with this Dolphins defense, not fantastic, not sexy. Anthony Weaver, though, their defensive coordinator, came over from Baltimore. He was the D-line coach of the Ravens, now the DC of the Dolphins. He just has them playing good enough. And if you have a defense playing good enough, especially against a run where they're not allowing too many yards per attempt, which is the key number there, is that with the struggling offensive line, and with a team that can score, you get up on them. It's a classic. Pass rush pins their ears back, and they get going on this. One thing to see, and we'll see, is that Cole Strange did return to practice. Now, he's been working at center, which I think is a good thing.
I do too.
He's been working with David Andrews. Look, he's an okay guard. We haven't seen him been healthy enough to really assess him as a guard. But with his skill set, he's more of zone gap blocking opposed to the power, which we've seen has been good for AVP. But if he's taking snaps at center and you get Ben Brown back to being a backup because he was okay, he got the job done, and then basically he has reared his head to be what he is, a practice squad center. If you have good, just okay, competent center play, and then you have a right guard, Mike Onwenu, who's good. It's just the little by little upgrading the line, and you can protect on the interior, especially. That could be a boost for this team. How many reps he actually plays on? I mean, he's coming back from a torn patellar in his knee. And it happened late in last season. I don't know if he'll be on a pitch count. I don't know if he'll be able to be on the field as well. We'll see what his availability is, but he is at least practicing. That is something to watch.
X factor in this game is Ramondre Stevenson. If we're due, I mean, it feels like it's been a while. He needs a big Sunday. If he has a big game day, think about all the boxes you check. I mean, you're asking their offense to stay on the sideline, so that's helping you. And you're asking them, you're putting them in a position to have to be explosive. If you're having time of possession, if Stevenson's running the ball effectively, obviously you're making life easier for Drake Maye. You could check that box too. And it just sort of limits the opportunities that the Dolphins have to hit that home run to Tyreek Hill or Waddle on you. You know, if you can have a solid running game, and to your point with Strange being back, I mean, maybe the offensive line gets a boost there. Maybe that helps open up some run lanes. We'll see. But this would be a great week for Ramondre Stevenson to enter the chat.
The X factor for me is always the offensive line. And if Cole Strange does say even take reps at center, patience has to be preached to Patriots fans. New system, new coach, new lingo, new position for him, coming back after a long time off, who knows what the football activities are. I don't think there'd be an immediate boost. We'd see if he's even active on game day, but ease him along. This is still a good defensive line. Zach Sealer, Calais Campbell, Chop Robinson. And after I saw them get dominated at the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball by the Rams, I don't have high hopes. Yeah, Ramondre needs to play well, but it's the offensive line with the Patriots.